Bombers and the Lions on Sunday, Etihad Stadium, 1:10. Dayne Zorko, he's had an extraordinary couple of years. Back-to-back best and fairest, leading goal scorer a couple of years ago. He's on the phone. Morning, Dayne.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good, good. You got Hamish, Gary and Tim. We were speaking earlier. Have you ever noticed there's no shot clock at the Gabba, but there is at every other ground?
Oh, I have noticed, yeah.
Would you like one?
Oh, absolutely. I think everyone would. It just helps with just taking set shots, helps with routines and that. And I think we're in the process underway at the moment with the AFL that we're getting that sorted. So hopefully it'll be in sooner than later.
We've had a bit of a moan about it this morning, Zork, and we've got it sorted for you, mate. So Simon Lethlean has assured us that next time there's a game at the Gabba, you'll have a shot clock.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Great to hear.
Your form has been sensational. At a time, I think, and this is what makes it even better, at a time when your club is not playing, super footy, and there's lots of reasons for that. So what do you put it down to, and how is this your best season so far?
I think it probably is my most consistent season so far. I think I've had years where I may have potentially played a few better games than what I have, but consistent-wise, I think I've been able to execute my role every game, which is the most important thing with the position at the moment. If I can constantly bring what I need to every week, I think it just helps with the development of the younger kids, and then I guess you just know what you're going to get every week, and the young kids can provide the energy, and you know what your older experienced players can bring to the forefront every week. So I think it's definitely been my most consistent year without being outstanding.
Hey Zorks, good morning to you. One of the things I've liked about the Brisbane Lions this year, and you've been belted at different stages. There's been inconsistencies. There's been those ebbs and flows in the performance. But the one thing that you've stayed true to with Chrissy Fay is you've still tried to attack and play football. You haven't gone into a really defensive mindset. Has that been a focus of the team? Yeah,
it has, and I think that's the only way we're really going to get better. And Chris has said numerous times, if you're not prepared to make mistakes now, we'll never make them. We'll be the same safe team that we've always been. So I guess our mindset is that it doesn't matter if you make a mistake. Everyone's going to make mistakes, but the more that we can try and execute it and take the game on the way we want to, the better we'll be for it in a few years' time. So yeah, it's going to look scrappy. There's going to be mistakes, but it's the only way we're going to get better. And that's something that Chris has really hemmed into us and made sure that we continue to play that way.
Hey, Dayne, how many players do you reckon there are like you, Surfers Paradise, Broadbeaches, lurking around that could make it that either don't have the application or haven't been found?
I'm not sure. There have to be a couple, but I think with so many eyes over AFL in every state at the moment, it'd be very difficult for those guys to not get seen or not be put on a radar somewhere. So
why were you delayed till 23?
I don't know, Haim. You have to ask the recruiters, mate.
You're a bit peed off, a bit cheesed off about the fact that the Suns didn't look at you?
Oh, a little bit, but...
nothing wrong with that. I would be too if I was you.
Yeah, I think I'm appreciating it so much more now, though, obviously being, not getting it as an 18-year-old, but then working hard and then obviously making it as a 22-year-old. So, yeah, disappointed at 18, 19, 20, but the fact that I'm now on the Brisbane Lions list and absolutely loving my time, I guess it's just makes it a little bit sweeter.
You've got a very, very good antagonistic type player there within the midst of the Brisbane Lions. I'm talking about Reece Matheson.
Yep.
Do you need to? Does he tone it down a bit, or do you just encourage him to keep going in the direction he's going at the moment?
Oh, he's unique, Reece, isn't he? But we absolutely love him.
Unique.
Love the energy and the what he brings to our midfield, especially, and to our team. He's a very bubbly character. Probably there's a couple of goal celebrations that may go a little bit too far, but that's the passion he plays with. He just wants the team to go really well, and I don't think we'll be telling him to change anytime soon. We love the way he goes about it, and he gets under team's skin, which is important.
I'd advise him to put the shotgun away.
That bit away. But
park that one.
What he's doing at the moment, though, he actually does take a lot of heat for the rest of the team because of the way that he goes about his business.
What he did, Wisp, was Dane Beams got mummified early, and he went in and played in the middle and had 30+ and played really well. So that's the most important thing. What about you, Zork? We've got a lot of people here, a lot of our listeners that love the Lions because of their affiliation with Fitzroy, and they're loving what you've been able to do. And they're saying that 2 weeks ago, and I watched this game, and that first quarter that you had, I can't remember who it was against, 2 weeks ago was as good as I've seen. And then, I don't like to bring it up, but just the 5 touches the following week.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah.
Oh, Gary.
I'm sorry. It's an elephant in the room. I had to bring it
It's
up.
a little bit disappointing, but I guess you're going to have days where things go really well for you and days that don't. But as a player, I still felt like I contributed with my defensive actions and still played our structures and what was required of me. Just unfortunately didn't get the touches that I would have liked or the team would have liked. So there was still a lot of positives to take out of the game, but I guess not getting the hands on the ball, which is extremely important in this game. I guess that's what was a little bit disappointing about it, but I still contributed in all my defensive stuff that the team asked for. And set up really well and help the other kids, help the younger kids get better. And right, Reece Matheson took a huge load after Beamsy went down early in the week. So that's a really good sign for us that Reece was able to shift his mindset to understand how important he was in our midfield last week and he needed to, even though myself and Dayne didn't have great weeks.
Speaking with Dayne Zorko, how much of an influence did the playing group have on Josh Shackey deciding to stay? Did you have a chat with him, Dayne?
I spoke to Josh, and I never really got the impression that he ever really wanted to. There was a lot of speculation about him leaving, and there was a bit of a delay with his contract and something like that. But I never got the feeling that he really wanted to go back home. I'm sure it would have been nice, but I felt like he really enjoys his time up here, and he loves what we're building up here. So I personally never got the vibe that he was going to leave. I think it was just more getting the contract sorted and finalising all that. And we're absolutely stoked that he stayed on board for another 2 years. And he's playing some really, really good football in the reserves at the moment. And hopefully his senior call-up isn't too far away.
Hey, Dayne, thanks for your time this morning. Good luck on Sunday. Bombers, early game 110, Etihad.
Thank you very much.
Dayne Zorko. Great story to be just sort of lurking around Broadbeach, Surfers Paradise, and then just best and fairest back-to-back, probably a third.
Yep, Dayne Beams, he's the most underrated player in the competition. Now, if he was in Melbourne, we'd get a greater appreciation. He'd be sort of spoken about in the Trelaw and all the elite midfield.
Yeah, no, he's a gun, and I thought that interview was going along really nicely until he actually brought up the fact that he'd only had the 5 touches in the game after he'd actually shone.
Just flattened him off.
What did you do there?
Well, you got to ask you got to ask the tough ones, Wisp. You can't just ask
Gary,
the feel-gooders.
There's a time and a place for
it.
everything.
It did just flatten it a bit, I thought.